He used to wake before dawn, not because he loved the morning, but because sleep had become a stranger. The world outside his window would still be dark, silent, yet inside him, a storm refused to rest. His name was Daniel, though he barely recognized it anymore. Once, that name meant something. Once, he had faith, not just in God, but in life, in love, in the quiet goodness of things. But over time, the world had taken pieces of him, one disappointment at a time, until faith felt like a language he'd forgotten how to speak. It began slowly, like dusk swallowing day. A promise that broke. A friend who vanished. A prayer that never seemed to be answered. He tried to keep believing, but belief became heavy. He told himself he was fine, that he was simply growing up, becoming realistic. But deep down, he knew he was fading. Days became quiet in the wrong way. He'd go to work, smile when expected, say, "I'm okay," when asked. Yet every night, when he'd lie in bed staring at the ceiling, something inside him whispered, "You've lost your way." He didn't argue. He just turned away, like a man who'd stopped expecting dawn to come. But life, in its strange mercy, never gives up easily. One Sunday morning, by habit more than belief, Daniel found himself walking into a small church he hadn't visited in years. The air smelled of candles and old wood. A few people sat scattered among the pews, heads bowed, not out of duty, but hunger. That quiet human hunger for meaning. He didn't kneel. He didn't pray. He just sat in the back, arms folded, trying to feel nothing. Then, an old woman beside him whispered softly to no one in particular, "Thank you for staying with me even when I forgot you." Her words, so simple, so nakedly sincere, pierced something inside him. For the first time in months, Daniel didn't feel alone in his silence. He realized that maybe everyone here carried their own storm, their own unanswered prayers, yet still, they came. Still, they whispered gratitude. Still, they reached towards something unseen. That night, he walked home through the rain. The city lights shimmered on wet pavement, and every step felt heavier, yet clearer. He didn't know why, but he whispered too, "If you're still there, I'm listening." No voice answered. No miracle split the sky. Only the rain, soft against his skin, like an echo of something sacred. Over the next few weeks, small things began to change. Not grand gestures, but quiet mercies. He started waking up before his alarm, not because he couldn't sleep, but because he wanted to see the sunrise again. He found himself smiling at strangers. He reached out to a friend he'd pushed away. And sometimes, when life still hurt, because it did, he'd pause, breathe, and whisper, "I'm still here." The pain didn't vanish. The questions didn't all find answers. But the emptiness began to breathe again, not filled with certainty, but with peace. He started to see that faith was never about being unbroken. It was about believing even when you are. One evening, Daniel sat by the river where he used to go as a child. The sky was bruised gold and violet, and the water carried the fading light. He thought about everything he'd lost, and somehow, instead of bitterness, he felt gratitude. Every wound had led him here, to this quiet, sacred stillness. He realized then that faith wasn't something to find out there, waiting behind miracles or answered prayers. It was something that had been whispering inside him all along, like an ember refusing to die. And when he finally closed his eyes, he didn't ask for anything. He didn't plead. He simply said, "Thank you." Because for the first time in a long time, he understood. The heaven he had been searching for wasn't in the sky. It was within. And in that gentle knowing, the storm inside him finally began to rest.